The snake serves as a powerful reminder to head into the new year with resilient feminine energy. In this video, I will share my process of creating large-scale wax sculptures, and we'll go into a little deep dive into the symbolism of snakes, worship of them in different cultures, and the meaning of serpents in mythology. I'm taking you into my workspace to share insights on an ancient wax dipping technique and how I'm using this technique to create my biomorph structure that resemble the shapes of the serpent. Stay with me towards the end as I will touch on snake-related themes in art and film. If you have seen some of my previous wax sculptures, wax candles before, I wanted to, just go a bit more into extremes and test and challenge how I can work with wax. So therefore, I just wanted to try and see if it is possible to actually work with this technique and on creating bigger structures, bigger sculptures. And this is how it all begins, with a humble hemp wig and gentle dipping into the hot wax. This process will continue, and with each dip, another layer of wax will coat the wig. It will take a while at the beginning for the layers to form, but they will do so eventually. And in between the dips, the wax needs to cool and rest. Shortly about me. I am a German designer and artist, reimagining otherworldly systems of ephemeral artifacts through sculpture and installation. My main medium consists of wax, but also extends to latex, fabrics, any other types of textiles, or also hair. Since my previous background was fashion, it is quite interesting to now work with materials that are not so forgiving as fabric. The materiality of wax is soft when warm, flexible and bendable. Whilst it cools, it hardens, it becomes stiff and inflexible and very, very fragile actually, prone to easily crack and break. The duality of the two fascinates and challenges me in the same time. Wax acts in unpredictable ways and is hard to manipulate, shape and form, and allows only so much room for manipulation. I find wax to be a very sensual material, and for me it's a very intimate process, engaging with the softness of it but also with the hardness all at once. In a way, it reflects life itself. A life meaning soft and flexible, whilst death is stiff and brittle. And again, there is a connection between this practice and the symbolism of the snake. Serpents, often associated with both fascination and fear, have held a prominent place in mythology, folklore, and cultural symbolism throughout human history. These limbless, elongated creatures evoke a sense of mystery with their sinuous movements and distinctive, scaled bodies. Serpents are often featured in creation myths, where they symbolize transformation, rebirth, and cyclical life processes due to their ability to shed their skin. In various cultures, serpents have been referred as symbols of wisdom and healing, as well as feared as agents of chaos and malevolence. So I want to go a bit into history and the symbolism of snakes. All across the prehistoric world, we can find depictions of snakes and the spiral or meander as snake symbols. The tradition is present in several ancient cultures, particularly in religion and mythology, where snakes were seen as the holders of knowledge and strength, as well as renewal. The otherworldly energy of the snake, its vitality, its uncanny ability to sense danger, and its ability to shed its skin, reappear as if reborn, must have invoked feelings of awe in our ancestors. Snakes are mysterious. They are cold-blooded creatures and stand for creation, primal energy, and also life force. Throughout history, the snake goddess was felt everywhere, ruling the earth, water, and air, nurturing the world with the feminine principle. In Hinduism, serpents, particularly the cobra, hold significant and multifaceted symbolism. Snakes are often associated with Lord Shiva, one of the principal deities in Hinduism, who is depicted wearing a serpent around his neck as a symbol of control over cosmic forces of destruction and regeneration. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the term Naga refers to a class of serpent-like beings or deities. Nagas are often depicted as powerful, semi-divine entities with human and serpent-like traits. In Egyptian mythology, snakes held significant symbolic meaning and played a dual role in their cultural narrative. In ancient Egypt, snakes, especially the cobra, symbolized both protection and chaos. The cobra adorned pharaohs' headdresses, representing the protective goddess 𝖂𝖊𝖇𝑘𝖙𝖆. Simultaneously, the chaos serpent 𝖂𝖊𝖇𝑘𝖙𝖊 embodied disorder and posed a threat to the sun god Ra. This duality reflected the Egyptians' belief in the eternal struggle between order and chaos in their cosmology. So the wax structure is slowly coming together. The wax is nice and warm and therefore bendable and flexible, allowing me to focus on specific parts of the structure where I want more layers and a thicker body. On the other hand, there are cultures that look at the snake differently and see the snake as something evil. For example, where sexuality is celebrated, the snake remains an honored deity. Where sexuality is repressed as sinful, the snake is viewed as evil. In the Bible, the serpent is famously associated with the story of Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis. In this narrative, a serpent attempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, leading to the fall of humanity. Traditionally identified with the devil or Satan, the serpent symbolizes deceit, temptation, and disobedience in this biblical context. Medieval manuscript and religious iconography depicted snakes as malevolent beings, emphasizing their role in the fall of humanity. Despite their predominantly negative connotation, there were exceptions in certain medicinal or alchemical texts where snakes were linked to healing properties. Snakes who shed its skin frequently and emerge as renewed represent the mystery of death and rebirth. When a snake sheds its skin, it also frees itself from scars and skin diseases. The association between healing and snakes is evident in Greek mythology. Asclepius, Greek god of healing and medicine, once healed a snake who then shared its secret healing knowledge. His rod, a staff entwined by a snake, remains a symbol of medicine until today. A snake is the ultimate symbol of intelligence, predictions, and psychic awareness. Perhaps because of snakes' mysterious ways of being, unblinking, lidless eyes, smelling without a nose, hearing without ears, and sensing heat and movement, which allows it to succeed in life in ways completely foreign to humans. At this stage, the wax sculpture becomes more obvious, as there are some more thicker parts formed. In the same time, I like that the wax is not too coated equally, but has formed these biomorph, organic and fluid-looking shapes. Intentionally, I will work on parts that are less coated and thinner to counterbalance the parts that are bigger. It is super important to let the sculptures cool down and harden in the preferred shapes. Snakes have long been featured in films as symbolic creatures, often associated with mystery, danger, and seduction. The portrayal of women with snakes dates back to ancient mythology, where serpents were linked to various goddesses and represented both fertility and transformation. In cinema, this association has translated into the depiction of women entwined with snakes, emphasizing themes of sensuality and empowerment and alluring facets of femininity, mystique, as well as beauty and danger. To work on a large structure, this will usually take me days, even though this looks like here it's been only a couple of hours. Trust me, it's not. It's an elaborate process of work. It is a ritual. It is a meditation. It requires full focus and attention, and by doing so, time seems to disappear. To immerse myself in this practice where I can work physically is so rewarding for me. Working on crafting new things with my own hands is everything. Wax dipping is quite an old technique and tradition, and I enjoy it so much to apply these old techniques and materials like beeswax in a new context. There's so much that we can learn from traditional crafts, and it's so important to preserve these.